Hey guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to do something interesting. I wrote a melody and orchestrated it in 4 different ways. So I wanted basically to experiment and see how different orchestration can change the mood, the color, and the story of the music. We'll have a heroic and emotional one. We'll have an introspective and quiet one. We'll have a warlike, march-like version, and more of a fantasy, dreamy version. So let's go into Logic Pro and dive into the first version. Alright, so let's listen to the melody first. Right, so it's a pretty simple melody, nothing too complicated. And now we move to the first version. So this first version, I really wanted it to feel grand and cinematic and emotional, kind of like the main theme for a hero in a movie. So let's give it a listen first. Alright, so the melody starts with the violins and viola in unison, which gives it a really smooth, strong upper line. The cello plays the same line an octave below, so you get this nice, rich, warm middle range reinforcement. Let's hear it. Also, as you can hear, in the second section, violin 1 goes up an octave, so suddenly you've got the melody spread across 3 octaves. So you have violins on top, viola and cello below, and that just opens the sound wide. Underneath, the contrabass holds down the bass line, pretty straightforward. Now, horns 1 and 3 are doubling the cello at first, giving it a nice, noble color. And then in the second line, horns 2 and 4 start playing these little counterpoint lines, kind of weaving around the melody, which adds some motion without distracting for it. Let's have a listen to the horns with the strings. And now we can listen to the woodwinds as they enter with their own little line just before the melody returns, and then they move to harmonize the melody. And now let's listen to the winds, the horns, and the strings all together. So the percussion here is used mostly for color and emphasis, not for rhythm. So you've got suspended cymbals doubled with timpani rolls and chimes. Sometimes I also use a triangle or a gong hit just to accentuate the downbeat. And of course, tubular bells. They always work beautifully when you want that sense of drama to highlight an important melody note. Let's listen to the percussion. So now we have the harp, which is there just to arpeggiate chords. So there's nothing too complicated with it, but it gives that gentle shimmer that glues the harmony together. And finally, there's a choir. A very subtle at first, just doubling the melody in octaves. And then when we get to the second part, I bring in a solo soprano doubling the melody on top. And that soaring voice really completes the hero theme feel. So let's listen to everything together. Alright, so let's move to the second version, which is much quieter and more intimate. It's like the same hero after the battle reflecting. Let's listen to it first. So I start the melody with just one flute and one bassoon playing in 2 octaves in unison. That combination is one of my favorites because the flute gives you that clear singing top, and the bassoon grounds it with a very reedy tone. And when they play together, the sound feels complete on its own, like one instrument spans the whole register. You'll hear that trick a lot being used by many classical composers, because this technique allows you to carry a melody that feels warm but transparent. And on the second part, I introduce another flute, an oboe, and another bassoon. So let's listen to the woodwinds first. The reason I added more instruments here is because the orchestration in the second part gets more dense and more instruments play. So I wanted the woodwinds to cut through the mix and to give them much more support. Now above that, violin 1 is doubling the melody in tremolo, and the rest of the strings are pizzicato outlining the harmony quietly underneath. And the contrast between tremolo and pizzicato keeps it alive without needing any real movement or rhythm. Let's listen to the strings. So once again, in the second part, the violin 1 goes from tremolo to legato patch. Now we also have a solo trumpet that joins in and doubles the melody in the second part. It is very subtle, more like a distant voice, and it blends really nicely with the winds because it has that bright singing attack. And underneath that, I've got 2 horns holding long warm harmony notes. So they kind of glue everything together. I mean, all these separate textures suddenly feel connected through that sustained horn color. Let's have a listen to it. And then to add a little sparkle, I use the piano, celeste, and glockenspiel to double the melody as well. And on top of that, we've also got two harps playing the melody in octaves. So the percussion and the harps blend everything together into a whole sound. Let's have a listen to it. In settings like this, I usually like to play the piano or the celeste in kind of in a flam way. So I don't want it to be very, very quantized, but I want it to have like this pram pram sounds. So it kind of sounds like raindrops to me. And this is something that I do very often. You can hear it again here. And finally, the choir. They're not singing the melody this time, but rather holding soft harmonies underneath. So that gives you this really beautiful bed of sound. So altogether, we've got this mix of clarity and warmth. You have the transparency of the flute and bassoon, the shimmer from the strings and percussion, and the warmth of the horns and choir. And of course, we have a tambourine and a triangle and suspended cymbals just to have a little more accent on certain bits. So let's listen to everything together. Alright, so we're moving to version 3, which is the march version. So here I wanted to give the melody a real sense of power and movement. It's like something massive is advancing forward. Let's listen to it first. So the melody is carried by 4 horns and 2 trumpets together, and that's already a pretty bold sound. The horn gives it the warmth and weight, while the trumpets cut through the mix with that brilliant sound. Underneath I've got the trombones, bass trombone, tuba, and bassoon playing a marching rhythm. And I'm doing something I really like here. It's combining triplets with straight eights together. That mix creates this heavy, uneven pulse that feels like it's dragging the ground, which is unstable but in a good way, a bit like Holst Mars from the Planets. That's exactly the kind of energy I wanted, that big, relentless mechanical push forward. Let's listen to it. So we have here the bassoons, also a low woodwinds ensemble patch, horns, trumpet, trombones, tuba. Now the percussion. So the percussion doubles that rhythm with many snare and taiko drums. So there's nothing pretty complicated here, and it's only to work together with the low brass and winds. And finally, we have the short strings, which are basically playing the harmony. It's short rhythmic stabs that simply support the brass and open up the higher range. So let's listen to everything together. And we're at the final version. All right, so this one is very different. It's very dreamy and fantasy-like. The orchestration here gives it a magical, otherworldly color. Let's listen to it first. Alright, so as you can hear, I had to reharmonize the melody a bit just to have more colors and more options rather than relying only on the orchestration. So I mainly used minor chords and some more advanced chords like a major 7 sharp 5 chord, a minor major 7 chord, and of course diminished chords and the last chord, which leaves everything in the air. So the melody is played by the cello, horns, and trombone in unison. That combination has this warm and rich quality. And then in the second part, the cello goes up an octave just to introduce the cello's higher tenor singing range. Let's listen to it. Now for the woodwinds, which are in my opinion the most important section here in this version, they're playing the harmony, and thanks to the chromatic harmony I used here, I was able to give the melody a haunting fantasy feel. So I actually drew inspiration from Holst again, from Neptune, also from the planets, where he uses the woodwinds in this slow shifting clusters way, and it makes the texture feel like it's floating. Let's listen to it. And we have the strings double the winds as well. Now we have also two harps, where the first harp doubles the flute in octaves. The harp 2 arpeggiates the chords underneath, while the cellist is playing soft chords. And of course, the choir plays the harmony here too. It's soft and sustained and gives this mysterious feel. So they don't sing the melody, but they just add air and color around it. Let's have a listen to the cellist and the harps. So altogether, it feels dreamlike and magical and whimsical. So let's have a listen once again to everything together. And that's it. 4 completely different worlds, all built from the same melody. It's crazy how much orchestration alone can shift the emotion, right? That's the magic of writing for orchestra. The colors are the storytelling. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see some more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell button so you won't miss the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.